Peace and blessings. Namaste. To all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I made it. I made it. I am in North Carolina, my old home, my stomping ground, visiting with families, and I'll be traveling around a lot of it and just trying to get some ducks in a row before I head back to Tennessee. And I'll be there. Maybe I'll be here for about a week and a half, okay? So if my videos are sporadic now, it's because I'm handling a lot of business. I'm trying to get things together here, okay? But now, today's transmission, I'm going to talk to you about mental alchemy, all right? And how to use your dark night of the soul, your tower moments, your karmic debt, how to use this to thrust you into your highest divine purpose, okay? Because alchemy is not really about magic, okay? But it's been presented that way. And the reason why it was presented that way was to keep it out of the hands of those who would abuse its power or not understand it, okay? But the true alchemy is in the mind and how we think, all right? First things first, I want to give a beautiful shout out to my sister from the Netherlands named Gail. She reached out to me a couple of days ago and also was a part of our clubhouse. Okay, she is a powerful divine feminine. And tomorrow she wants to interview me, okay, for my channel and her channel. All right. And we're just going to have a very authentic conversation dealing with the divine feminine and all of her aspects. Okay. And I just love her. She calls me her mirror, and I believe that that could possibly be so. All right, because she's a beautiful soul, and she's waking up into herself, and she just wants to talk about how it was that I got to where I am, and I'm going to talk to her with it, tomorrow in the interview. But more importantly, I'm going to send this out to the masses. All right, because it's important. It's your time. Nobody should be sitting around suffering. We're supposed to be learning and evolving. All right. So if we're not at the point of learning and evolving, we have some issues. All right. So let me get right to it. Collective. We went through a hellified Scorpio season, right? We had a lot of tower moments, a lot of things that was revealed, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of pain. We found out about betrayals and backstabbings. It forced us to take a very good look in the mirror of what it is that we are attracting, what we are putting out in the universe, what we're bringing back to us, okay? It also forced us to take a good look at not only the situations of the peoples and the family members around you, but also how they got there. It made you start to really reflect and go back and just think about your entire journey, the choices that you made, the decisions that we make, right? And what I'm here to tell you is just because you may have made a bad decision, or you might be going through a tower moment, or you might have some karmic debt, is not the end of the world, okay? Because here is where we start to process mental alchemy. Your life will reflect your mind state regardless, okay? And this is the important part of the journey, because when we are going through tower moments, when we are going through karmic debt, when we are having negative things happen to us, are we asking the pertinent question? And what question is that? What is the lesson? What is the message? What was it that I was supposed to learn during the season of change? Okay? And it's from that point, that 0 point of letting go and understanding that things might be crumbling around you for a reason, but looking up to the divine and being grateful and standing in that space of gratefulness, that will start to reflect and change your outcomes. Okay, so many of us, when bad things happen to us, we get into the woe is me. We get into the victim mentality. We get into the why is the world coming against me thing. And that's the wrong way to look at this. Okay, and if you are constantly in that state of the whys and what about me's and the victims, you will find out that you will be a perpetual victim until you change your mind. Mental alchemy. Okay? Now, if people are being removed from your life, okay, and you ask the question, what is the lesson? God says, if one asks for bread, would I give him a stone? Right? So no, ask, what's the lesson? And let it unfold and reveal to you. Okay? Some things that we are processing as heartbreak, turmoil, trauma, drama, shouldn't be processed that at all. It should not be looked at or viewed in that manner. Instead, what we should be doing during this time is going, okay, I see. What habits do I need to break? Everything that you go through is about you. I don't care if it's the outside influence that caused it. But if you're going through it, it's still about you. You see, okay? If outside influences have the ability to change your whole entire life, your experiences in this life, then that means you have not taken control over your own life. Do you understand? And we are here to take control over our own lives. Say you are the victim. It happens. But what was that pain designed to do? Did it wake you up into your power? Did you realize that you was giving too much of yourself away, that you had nothing else left to give to the world? Did you give so much of yourself that you forgot who you were? Okay? Mental alchemy is about changing your outcome from negative to good. It's the pendulum swing. All right? It's the smile despite it all. It's the love. It's the knowing that no matter what happens to me, I'm not going to fail. I can't fail because I came here to be successful. It's about speaking to the universe and saying, I already know that you have my back. I already know that I have a divine purpose. And none of this outside matters. Because for everything or every person that I lose, I gain tenfold. So if I lose 3 friends, 10 is on its way. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? We hold on to things that do not serve us because we're comfortable in that space. Too many people are afraid of the unknown. And it is that state of fear that keeps you from moving forward. You're afraid of the unknown. You're afraid to take risks. You're afraid to step out on faith. You're afraid to travel. Right? To get the things done. I took a late night flight last night to get here to North Carolina. Went to the airport. I got my ticket online. Okay, paid for everything up front. Got it online. Got to the airport. Went to go check in my baggage. They said it was going to be $30 for me to check in that baggage. I said, okay, fine. But then the gentleman said, but for $14, you can go first class, and then your baggage checkout is free. Guess where Sophie rode last night? First class. I didn't have the money to do it. But what I'm telling you is the universe opens up, and I was being addressed as royalty, even though I walked in there as a peasant. Do you understand what it is that I'm saying? Some of you are looking for tangible evidence that you're on the right track. It's okay for confirmation, but your inner knowing should tell you first. Okay? And we don't have to deal with outside influences to let us know what our divine purpose is. We already know, right? It's just now a matter of walking into it and transmuting the energy. You lost your job? Okay, divine. What is it that I'm really supposed to be doing? Okay? You lost your house? Okay, divine. Where is it that you want me to move? You lost your spouse? Okay, divine. This person wasn't for me. Lead me into my new relationship. Okay? You experienced a death in the family? Okay, divine. Take the soul in your care. And is it something that I need to pray for? And I'm glad that they were able to escape. Mental alchemy changes your world because you don't look at it the same. And it's not about preaching a good game if you can't live it. If you can't show the world your authentic truth, your authentic self. If you're going through something, you can say that. It's not going to make people look down at you. It's going to make people admire how strong you actually are. And letting them know that you're an unstoppable force. When we're here with the divine, nothing else matters. Everything else is a shell in comparison to what the spirit and the soul can do. When you start to see things through the eyes of the spirit as opposed to the eyes of the flesh, your world looks different. Opportunities open up for you. It's handed to you on a silver platter. Okay? But first, a lot of you who are continually in a perpetual cycle, sorry, of possible tower moments or bad luck. First thing you need to do is be honest with yourself. Honest with yourself. Did I do something that attracted this type of negativity to me? Some people have hurt people over and over and over again. Thought that they would never be found out. But here's one thing. The divine is considered omniscient and omnipresent for a reason. Okay? Because everything, eyes are everywhere. It is. Okay? So everything hidden was going to be exposed anyway. But now, if you are exposed, if you were the one that did the dirt, if you were the one that is guilty, part of clearing your karmic judgment is to admit that. Do you understand? Admit that. Apologize to the divine and apologize for your transgressions so that your brothers and sisters and your family can forgive you by 70 times 7. All right? However, if you think that you're going to keep or take something that you've done to the grave with you, you will find yourself in this perpetual state of despair until you get the forgiveness that you need. Forgiving yourself first, and then apologizing for the transgressions. All right? That's the only way to remove that nasty stigma of judgment from over us. And we're doing this for ourselves. Okay? You can apologize to somebody. It's up to them whether or not they can take your apology, but you just released yourself from that burden. Okay? And once you release yourself from that type of burden, now the next step is acceptance. Okay? I did wrong. I hurt somebody that I loved or I cared about. Okay? And now I want to go to that person and I want to tell that person, listen, I'm sorry. This may have happened. That may have happened. You may come with excuses. You might not have to. You just say, I'm sorry. But once you do that, then the guilt leaves. You start to raise again. All right? Now you have to deal with acceptance. Are you accepting of what it is that you've done? And now are you able to accept the karmic roles of what you put out comes back to you? Okay? Then once you go through that phase of acceptance, then you go to the third phase of what is the lesson. Once you learn what is the lesson and sit back and contemplate and reflect on what it was that you were supposed to learn or do or didn't do, it happens. Then you go to the fourth phase. And that last phase is the phase that's going to put you on your path. And that phase is when you start to see how all of this is actually working for your good. And then you start to operate in a vein of gratefulness. And once you start doing that, Now we look at the world. Look at the world with spiritual eyes. Look at the people around you. Look at your friends. Look at your family. Look at your situations. Okay? Look at the things that you are going for and trying to achieve. And then you make logical decisions once these two are balanced. And now your world will reflect your heaven. But if you choose to stay in a mental prison, your world will reflect your hell. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. You can't call on a psychic, a tarot reader, a spellcaster, a shaman, a black magic, a black magician, a witch to remove the karma, because it's a universal principle. And what you'll end up doing is reaping more on yourself. Pay attention and be smart. Stop playing around with stuff that you don't quite understand yet. Okay? Because the things that you do to others who are under divine protection, who are innocent, all it does is bounce back. It bounced back. And you can't see it. And the reason why you can't see it is because you're not as tapped in as you need to be. Okay? But once you go through that process, I promise you, things will be upside down. But acknowledge yourself first. Acknowledge you. Don't point the finger at somebody else. Okay? Don't pass the buck. I don't care what they did to you. It was done for a reason. Okay? We'll all get out of this. Okay? This destruction is to bring about order. Remember, order out of chaos. Chin up. I am Sophie. I love you all.